Why does a life-changing realization disappear by Monday morning? At night, you understand everything. You write the plan, set the alarm, promise that tomorrow will be different. For 2 days, maybe it is. Then work gets busy. You sleep badly. One decision goes wrong, and suddenly you are back inside the same life, only now with more evidence that you cannot change. But what if the problem is not that your motivation is weak? What if motivation was never built to carry a life? After reading her father's letters, Leah Moreno decided she would stop being controlled by the past. She built a perfect new routine before midnight. Within 5 days, she would break every part of it, miss a critical haven approval, and discover that the dramatic breakthrough she wanted was simply another version of the pattern she was trying to escape. Hi, I'm Sarah, and this is Wise Mind Stories. In this episode, you'll learn why transformation happens through microshifts rather than emotional breakthroughs, how principles outlast inspiration, and how to create one piece of daily evidence that your future self has already begun. The perfect Monday. Leah's plan began at 5:15 a.m. Wake up, meditate for 20 minutes, run 3 miles. Journal. Prepare breakfast. Review Haven before opening email. No phone after 9. Read for 30 minutes. Sleep by 10. The schedule was color-coded. It looked like a life nobody could sabotage. On Monday, she completed every block. She arrived at work carrying green juice and the calm expression of someone who believed she had finally solved herself. Noah looked at the drink. Should I be worried? I'm building better systems. For Haven? For everything. The first day felt clean. On Tuesday, Leah woke at 5:15 after falling asleep at 12:40. She ran anyway. On Wednesday, a retailer moved a review meeting to 7 a.m. She skipped the journal and promised to do it at lunch. At lunch, Priya needed a board update. On Thursday, Leah turned off the alarm without remembering it. She woke at 7:48 to 12 messages. One was from Noah. Packaging proof needs creative approval by 8, or we lose the production slot. Leah opened the file on her phone. The proof contained a small legal change to the environmental claim. She read it too quickly, pressed approve, and ran for the shower. At 9:12, legal replied that the approved language was from an outdated version. Production paused. The delay would cost 2 days. The breakthrough fantasy. We love the idea of a breakthrough because it compresses change into one cinematic moment. The truth arrives, the music rises, the old self disappears. But Wiest argues that what we call a breakthrough is usually a tipping point, the visible result of many smaller shifts that came before it. Your life does not change in the hour you understand the pattern. It changes in the ordinary moments when you choose differently after the understanding is no longer exciting. Leah's new routine failed because it was designed for an imaginary person. A person with no late meetings, no bad sleep, no partner living elsewhere, no launch 6 weeks away. The routine demanded transformation as proof of sincerity. When real life interrupted it, Leah interpreted the interruption as personal failure. That is how all or nothing change protects the old pattern. If the new life must be perfect, the old life never has to compete with a realistic alternative. A plan that only works on your best day is not a plan. It is a performance. Noah stood at Leah's office door holding the wrong packaging proof. What happened? Leah began to explain the retailer meeting, the missed alarm, and the file names. Then she stopped. I rushed. Noah sat down. Why? Because I was already behind the person I decided to become this week. He looked at the green juice on her desk. It had separated into 3 colors. Maybe start with a person who sleeps. Leah laughed. It was the first time they had laughed together in weeks. Microshifts. A microshift is a change small enough to repeat, not a new identity declared at midnight. One action that creates evidence. One meal. One honest answer. One boundary held. One file read slowly before approval. Small does not mean meaningless. Repeated actions teach the mind what is normal. They reduce the distance between intention and behavior. Over time, the self-image catches up with the evidence. Leah wanted to become calm, trusting, healthy, present, and emotionally open all at once. Those words were too large to guide Thursday at 7:56 a.m. She needed one behavior that could survive Thursday. Noah turned the packaging proof over. What is the most important thing you do before the inbox takes over? Leah thought about it. Make one decision that moves Haven without creating an emergency. How long? 10 minutes. Can you do 10 minutes on a bad day? Yes. Then start there. Your future is built by the smallest promise you keep when nobody is inspired. Principles, not moods. Motivation asks, do I feel ready? A principle asks, what kind of action governs this situation? Weist emphasizes principles because inspiration is temporary. Principles are stable rules of cause and effect that help us choose beyond the mood of the moment. Spend less than you earn. Tell the truth before the truth becomes expensive. Do not make important decisions only to escape immediate discomfort. Build what you can repeat. Leah had led through urgency because urgency made priorities obvious. Without urgency, everything felt equally important. So she wrote one principle at the top of the Haven board: clarity before speed. It changed the production conversation. Instead of forcing the wrong proof through to recover the schedule, Leah and Noah gave legal two focused options. The team lost 48 hours, but avoided printing 10,000 packages with language that could not be supported. The delay remained. The disaster disappeared. That afternoon, Priya asked Leah whether the launch date was at risk. Leah wanted to say no. Leaders, she believed, brought confidence. Her principle required clarity. The date is still possible, she said, but not guaranteed. We will know by Monday. Priya nodded. Thank you. No drama. No punishment. Truth had entered the room before it became an emergency. Purpose, without a title. On Friday, Leah met Daniel at a coffee shop near Mateo's apartment. His fellowship interview had gone well. They'll decide next week, he said. Leah wrapped both hands around her cup. What do you want? I want the work. I don't know what I want it to mean for us. The old Leah would have demanded the second answer before hearing the first. This time, she asked, what do you love about it? Daniel described schools designed with children rather than for them. Public courtyards that felt safe after dark. Buildings that treated community input as expertise. His face changed while he spoke. Leah realized how long it had been since she asked about his work without measuring its impact on her own plans. And you? He asked. If Haven ends, what part of it is still yours? Leah had tied purpose to achievement for so long that the question felt almost insulting. But Weist offers a broader frame. Purpose is not only one job, relationship, or title. It often appears where your abilities, genuine interests, and the needs of the world meet. Leah was skilled at understanding why people chose what they chose. She loved turning complexity into a story people could use. And she cared about making lower-waste living feel practical rather than punishing. Haven was one expression of that intersection. It was not the source of her right to exist. A role can express your purpose without owning it. I think I help people make difficult change feel possible, she said. Daniel smiled. That sounds more like you than executive creative lead. The title has better health insurance, he laughed. Then his expression became serious. I'm not ready to come home. Leah felt the drop in her stomach. She allowed it. Okay, but I want to keep meeting like this. It was not the reunion she wanted. It was the next honest action available. She accepted it. Meeting the future self. That weekend, Leah returned to the trailhead. This time, she got out of the car. The path climbed through pine trees still wet from morning rain. She stopped at a wooden bench where the city disappeared behind the ridge. Weiss suggests imagining a meeting with your highest future self, not as fortune-telling, but as a way to make an abstract identity emotionally visible. Leah closed her eyes. She imagined herself 5 years older sitting at the other end of the bench. She expected a more successful woman. Sharper clothes, larger office, perfect calm. Instead, she pictured someone rested. Someone who listened to a question without preparing a defense. Someone whose phone stayed in her pocket while another person spoke. Leah asked the imagined woman what changed everything. The answer that came was almost disappointing. I stopped abandoning the day I was in. No revelation could prove the future, but it could guide the next 10 minutes. On Monday morning, Leah arrived tired. The packaging delay had created 31 new messages. She did not begin with them. She opened the corrected proof, read every line, and made one clear decision. 10 minutes. Then she entered the day. On Tuesday, she did it again. By Friday, Haven had recovered one of the 2 lost days. Nobody called it a breakthrough. That was how Leah knew it might be real. Practical payoff, the daily proof. Choose one action that takes 10 minutes or less. It should be small enough to complete on a difficult day, and meaningful enough that your future self would recognize it as evidence. Not, be healthier. Prepare one real breakfast. Not, fix the relationship. Ask one honest question and listen without defending. Not, change careers. Spend 10 minutes making the first piece of work the new direction requires. Repeat the same proof for 7 days. Do not add 5 more habits when it begins to feel easy. Let repetition do the work. Excitement cannot. Sarah closing. Motivation can open a door. It cannot walk through the door for you every morning. Lasting change is usually quieter. A principle, a microshift, one small promise, kept often enough to become evidence. Tonight, choose your daily proof. 10 minutes, 7 days, a future built in a size your real life can hold. If you want to see whether Leah's new pattern survives pressure, subscribe to Wise Mind Stories. On launch morning, a packaging error would stop Haven 6 hours before release. Rosa's basement would flood. Daniel would need an answer about Seattle before 5. Leah could not control all 3. For the first time, she would have to discover whether self-mastery means feeling calm or choosing well while calm is nowhere to be found. Next episode teaser. Launch day brings 3 simultaneous crises. Leah cannot make the fear disappear. She can only decide whether it will choose her behavior and who will pay if it does.